John Burnett is managing director of One Empire Group, columnist, former Republican candidate for New York City Comptroller. It's the Tuesday after Labor Day, and John shows up in the studio dressed like a GQ model. Look at you, man. Welcome to the show. No, you and me both with the gray. I love it.
It's a great day.
Did you second guess the gray this morning because it was like after the holidays? I almost wore something lighter, because it was like holidays.
Well, you can't go too dark, too light.
Yeah, right.
Gray's like right in the middle.
It's cool. It's like kind of a nice. And we should all be gray in life. Do you think kind of an area, so not just one way or the other.
Balanced.
Thanks for coming in, man. Thanks for. Where are you from originally, John?
Well, I was born in the People's Republic of Brooklyn.
Yeah, that's it. Everybody's from Brooklyn.
Everybody's.
I'm telling you,
the whole world's from
I'm a Jersey guy. And if you're Brooklyn, sometimes you will end up in New Jersey.
Well, Brooklyn's in the house, right?
Yeah, very, very true. Staten Island and Brooklyn. So you went for Brooklyn, and then did you ever end up going to the suburbs? You stayed in the city.
Well, my parents migrated to Queens.
Yeah, there you go.
So I was raised in Queens, and I currently live in God's country.
Which is?
Harlem, USA.
How happening is that now? You're staying right up there in Harlem. Beautiful as ever, huh?
Yeah. It's we have a Whole Foods now.
I know. I saw that though. And it's great. It's nice to think that how they started. And I started talking about the politicians that helped build up Harlem. Some that people don't like, but like Charlie Rangel. Say what you will, but they helped build up Harlem. Now it's like it's a community unto itself.
Rangel is legacy.
Jolly Rangel, right?
So when you look at Adam Clayton Powell Jr. and then Charlie Rangel, that's legacy. So he means a lot to Harlem. Yeah.
So, and talking about politicians and a Democrat like Charlie, you're a Republican.
Yeah.
Man, so how do you get across that in New York City? That's the hardest thing to do. Because people, they think like, and I'm guilty as charged. I'm a lifelong Blue Dog Democrat, and I couldn't even say Republican, So now I'm a conservative. They think you're Republican. I'm more independent, libertarian.
Gotcha.
But how do you get across that the Republicans do have some good ideas?
Well, the thing is that when I look at my political journey, I switched parties in 2004.
Yeah.
So I was always a Democrat. And when I looked at my values, I'm a preacher's kid.
Ah.
Right? So I grew up, my father was a pastor.
Cool.
In fact, my mom, on Saturday morning when all children were watching cartoons, my mom has Bible study Saturday morning. I'm like, Mom, we have church tomorrow. You're killing my weekend.
Go? You went to the Bible study?
Yeah. It was in the home.
Oh,
in-home Bible study.
So you couldn't get out of it?
Couldn't get out of it. And church was all day the next day.
Yeah.
So when I look at my values, and my father was born in 1925, so I wasn't raised by a baby boomer. I was raised by a traditionalist.
Yeah, me
right?
too. Yeah.
So he liked to hunt. He was a member of the NRA. Right.
Wow, man.
Southern values.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
So when I looked at my values, I'm like, you know what? Now that I'm working on Wall Street, I have a good understanding of finance, the economy, how money works. When you combine that with your values, I'm like, I'm really a Republican.
Wow.
So I switched.
And so what kind of criticism did you get from the community?
Oh, my gosh.
Huh?
Traitor, how could you? What are you doing?
It's so true, though.
You're in it for the money. All that crazy stuff, right? But I will say this. I do a lot of work citywide, but I also did a lot of work in Harlem. And it was recognized by a lot of Harlemites. Specifically, a few members of the National Action Network's Women's Auxiliary, they actually gave me, are you ready for this? The Man of Vision Award.
Wow. Yeah, that's huge.
Because I was head of a nonprofit, and I raised money to give scholarships to not only high school students, but also survivors of domestic violence, survivors of human trafficking, and formerly incarcerated individuals. They had to be enrolled in college, and we paid the college directly.
God bless you.
So when they heard that and they saw all the other things, they actually gave me the Man of Vision Award.
Wow.
And I didn't think it was real, Joe. I'm like, are you serious?
I know.
So I showed up, and guess who handed me the award?
I'm afraid, yes. Who's that?
Reverend Al Sharpton.
Oh!
He had to actually read the award.
Oh, man. Come
John
on.
Burnett, man of vision, dedicated to community, right? I'm like, damn, I would have had this on video.
Yeah. Oh, man.
I'm never going to get this again.
Hey, John. John Burnett was John. Why you do when you think the Democrats expect the African American vote? It's like, and I always say to my Jewish brothers and sisters, how do they keep voting Democrat? I don't know. When it is so anti-Semitic in the United States House of Representatives, and no, not Chuck Schumer, nobody, a nice Jewish fellow like Chuck from New York won't say anything about Ilhan Omar or Rashida Tlaib, yet they still vote for the Democrats. And a lot of the times, I see when I do the work with the inner city youth, a lot of the big money guys are Republicans and they're conservatives.
True. This is my approach as a preacher's son. I try to invoke logic, reason, and get people to think, right? Don't come with fire and brimstone, lower taxes and all this freedom, right? You have to actually just hit them and meet them where they are and hit them in the heart, right? I'll give you an example. When Mitt Romney said, let the car companies fail.
Yeah.
You and I understood what he was saying. Right?
Yeah.
What are you saying, right?
Yeah.
Let the banks take the hit, not the taxpayer.
Yeah. Right.
Right?
Right.
But to the common and the forgotten men and women, that sounds cruel.
Yeah.
Right? So just break it down.
Yeah.
To the level in which they understand it, and let them know that you're actually working for them and proposing ideas that will actually lift them up. And don't get into these silly battles.
I know. You know what? And my heart lies within the inner cities of the United States because I feel they're neglected. Look at all the statistics in Chicago. We're talking about, and our hearts go out to Odessa. Our hearts go out to Midland, Texas. But 43 shot in Chicago, 8 killed over the weekend. So I wonder if the answer to this, because I really want to come up with solutions on the show, is what we try to do. I wonder if it's pastor-based within the inner cities. As a pastor's son, I wonder if that's it, because I know WMCA, our sister station, The Mission, I see some of these pastors, I see a lot of these, they're right in the heart of the inner cities.
Joe, I'm glad you said that, because when you look at the old school way, just like today, pastors have a lot of influence, but it's different. Arguably, there was more freedom back then for them to actually speak the truth.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Because they were actually criticizing both sides. Now, when you look at the modern day era, they only criticize one side.
Yeah.
So it's not objective. Why? Because they legitimately fear losing their congregation. So they no longer solely speak the truth. They only tell the congregation what they want to hear. Yeah. When you look at Martin and Malcolm back in the day, they not only talked about the system and the institutions and so forth, but they also told the people what they should be doing.
Yeah.
And take full responsibility, and that's what we're not hearing.
Yeah, you're making so much sense. I wonder, I tell you, not to drive this home, and people, if they know they listen to me, I'm a man of faith, so forgive me if I lean on this, because I think that's part of the problem. Now, you're telling me your mother had Bible study on Saturday mornings, man. I had to go to catechism. Did I like that? I did. What was I doing on Wednesdays after school? We had to go. I remember walking with my sister Carol. We'd go from Brookdale School in St. Thomas in Bloomfield, New Jersey. I didn't want to go to catechism. But God is a good thing. It can at least lead you on the right path. Is that bad to say? I'm afraid to say that. Do you know what I mean?
God and discipline. Those two things.
Wow.
Right? Growing up in the pink houses in East New York and then South Jamaica, Queens.
Yeah.
Three things that kept me on the right path. Fear of God, not disappointing my mom, and the wrath of my father. Those 3 things kept me on the straight and narrow path.
Matt, you got to tweet that out. I got Matt Conklin, our social media guy. That's the wisdom of the morning, man.
And I was being respectful to God, right?
Yeah,
because oftentimes I feared the wrath of my father.
More than that. That's so funny, man. Oh, we got so much to talk about, John. Before you leave, I don't know how do we turn that mindset of folks within New York City. Who, when I walk by my homeless guys down in Wall Street, and I come down, I see Gerald Nadler's more concerned about taking down the president than helping out this district. Mayor De Blasio logged in. Frankie Fibros just told me Mayor De Blasio logs 7 hours of work at City Hall.
It's crazy.
He's running for president of the United States. I mean, how do you tell people, look, it's okay to be? It doesn't matter what we are, Republican, Democrat, conservative, liberals. It's all for the good of the people. How do you turn that around, John?
Joe, we went from Bloomberg waking up at like 5 o'clock in the morning and going to bed at 1 a.m.
Yeah,
right?
Very good point.
To 7 hours for a whole month. We have a flex time mayor.
Flex time. That's great. Oh, man. Now, you run it? You run it for anything? You know, you thinking about it?
I'm running away.
Yeah. Oh, man.
No, the thing is, you know, I try to use access to media, writing op-eds, speaking engagements, both on the right and left. I embrace everybody.
Yeah.
Right? To just talk about the issues. No one will silence me.
Yeah, God bless you for that. John Burnett. This is John Burnett, Managing Director of One Empire Group, a columnist, former Republican candidate for New York City Comptroller. But you got the right vision and the right light and respect to your parents who are doing such a great job.
Thank
my
you.
friend.
Thank you.
God bless you, man.
Good to be here.
Is that okay to say God bless you? Can you say that nowadays? Am I right or wrong? I'm afraid to say that. Godspeed, indeed, John.
Thank you.
Indeed. Great to have you with us. It's 8:39 with Joe and the